I met Paul when I was in 7th grade, and he was the new vice principal at Bellevue.
And when you think back about it, that's a little over 60 years ago already.
I'd rather you didn't volunteer that.
I first got to know him really when he recruited me to run for the state legislature. Now, I hadn't thought about doing that at all. It was really him asking me to consider that made me even think about running for that position. And once he recruited me, then he was also willing to be a mentor, and I know he's done that for others as well.
I was in study hall, and he came around and he said, "Nina, would you like to be the attendance monitor?" I had no idea what an attendance monitor did, but I said, "Oh yes, I would." And it consisted of going around to the classrooms and picking up the little absentee cards. I thought I was the most important person in that building the whole year.
And I think that's one of his characteristics is caring. He cares for people. I guess there's no other way to say it, but he loves people, and he demonstrates it. It doesn't mean that he can't be stern, and he can't be hard-nosed, because when he has to, he does. But for the most part, Paul is as gentle and as kind as anybody you'd like to ever meet.
I like to call Paul the recruiter-in-chief. And when I think about the impact that he's had on children, it's not just the things that he has done personally, but also I think about all of those people like me who he's recruited to multiple roles in the community: government roles, nonprofit roles, church roles, stepping up to do volunteer activities to help other kids. And I just think of all of those ways in which so many children are impacted by the ways that he's recruited other leaders and led other leaders and showed us the importance of recruiting. So no doubt there are recruits of Paul that are out there doing great things for children.
If you look at Paul's record, he goes back almost 16 years, I think, on the Board of Education in Bellevue. Follow that up with another 20-year stint as a state senator. He was Speaker of the House in the legislature. Paul has been on the learning community. There's very little that Paul hasn't done. And I remember Paul telling me one time, "You and I and others like this have an obligation. We have to become the voice for those young people who have none." And I've always remembered that, Paul telling me that, and I think that's what guides me to be as service-oriented and to try to give back as much as I can because of what he has modeled.
Paul's very deserving of the Champions of Children Award because he's not only been a champion for children in the legislature for many years, but he's also been a champion for children in nonprofit organizations. He's been a champion for children who are in the Bellevue public housing facilities. He's also been a champion for children in his own church. He's been a champion for children in his own family. And if you know Paul, you know his family is interpreted very expansively. So he's been a champion of so many people and so many children.